a secluded farm in India, a 19-year-old girl was brutally strangled to unconsciousness, then set on fire while more than 9 people watched. The man who committed the crime? The girl's own brother. And the people who were standing by were not just innocent civilians watching in horror. They were the girl's own uncles and cousins encouraging the murder to happen. These acts are called honor killings, and the family committed it because they believed she had brought dishonor upon their family by marrying someone without their permission. These acts still happen frequently in a place like India, where more than 1 billion people live, where the economy is the 7th in the world, and where gender equality laws have been passed for more than 40 years. Dowry and honor killings are both popular customs in India that greatly contribute to the cause of discrimination against women. Honor killings, as I mentioned before, are when mostly the males in a family murder a female relative because of an act of dishonor she has done to the family. Although declared illegal by the Indian government, the United Nations reports that more than 1,000 cases are reported from India each year. And keep in mind, those are the only cases that actually go reported. The other Indian custom that is encouraging discrimination is dowry. Dowry is when a bride's family gives the husband's family expensive gifts and money during the time of a wedding. Although the idea seems innocent, what usually ends up happening is the groom's family often ends up demanding more than the bride's family can afford. This causes 80% of bank loans in India to be taken out because of dowry demands. The demands also put an extensive amount of pressure on the bride and her family, to a point where a woman dies every hour because of a dowry-related case. Dowry is also a major cause of discrimination that is happening against women because, frankly, if you have a son, you'll be receiving money rather than giving it. And unlike honor killings, dowry is legal in India. Although dowry is legal, we have to give the Indian government some credit. They have laws that date back to the 1960s, after their independence from Britain, that allow women to own land, have equal rights in obtaining divorce, and be able to adopt a child without having a man's permission. And they even have a law, which the United States does not, that requires women and men to be paid the same wage if they do the same job. Men and women are pretty much equal in the eyes of the law. But the problem isn't the law, it's how the people of India have been receiving them. The police hardly enforce the law, and because of this, many rapes go unreported. And many politicians are afraid to take action against it in fear of losing conservative votes. What needs to change is the way the police enforce the laws and the strict mindset of men are better than women. Places of poverty are in need of the biggest change because most of the rapes and honor killings and dowry demands are happening there. Studies have shown that although the poor areas have the most of these cases, over the past decade they have been happening more frequently in the middle class. This is because of the lack of education in these areas. Places of poverty and now middle class have more limited access to education than the rich. This causes an outdated look on women's rights, passed on by parents and grandparents that have learned their information from a world where slavery was okay. An example of the outdated look on women is a poll taken in India asking people if they thought domestic violence was something that was okay or something that should be punished. 54% of women thought it was just a normal part of life. Even the result for Indian men was lower than that. The Indian government is on the right track, but even a Supreme Court judge said laws can only play 20% of empowering the role in women. 80% must be played by education. Just a start to implanting this education would be to offer community classes in places of poverty that really teach about women's rights and why they are important. Or requiring a women's right class to be mandatory in all high schools and elementary schools. Just providing a class for people in poverty to access would already make a significant change. If India can successfully implant education into places of poverty and retrain the mindset of the people, not only will dowry, suicides, and honor killings go down, but more women will feel confidence. Instead of being thought of as a burden to their family, they can think of themselves as the person who is meant to make their family successful. With confidence, more women will join the workforce and improve the economy. With confidence, more women will report the injustices that happen to them every day, such as rape and sexual harassment. With confidence, more women will be encouraged to voice their opinions, and resulting in an idea that could possibly change the world. But most importantly, with confidence, an Indian woman can look at herself and say, I am meant to be here, I am in control, I am equal.